Dismissive avoidance can be very confusing. And because they really hold back how they feel and a lot of their emotions, sometimes people miss out on important signs that somebody might actually be interested in them. So in today's video, I am going to break down 7 clear signs a dismissive avoidant likes you that are probably only going to become clear once you've seen this video, because a lot of these things tend to fly under the radar and get missed. So let's get into it. So first and foremost, dismissive avoidants, when they are interested, believe it or not, are quite consistent. I think it's sort of this myth that people have where they believe that if a dismissive avoidant is interested in you, they may never talk to you for days or weeks at a time. And that really couldn't be further from the truth. While dismissive avoidants may have this tendency to kind of fall off the face of the earth from time to time or to withdraw, you will see that they do show up consistently to put some sort of effort into a relationship dynamic. And I want to really clarify that in this part specifically, because when dating somebody, when getting to know a dismissive avoidant, what you're going to see is that they're kind of operating in this dynamic of their feelings minus their fears. So for example, using this analogy, if a dismissive avoidant is interested in you, a 7 out of 10 when you're first getting to know them, and their fears when they are just starting to get to know you are very low. They don't have all these attachment fears that are coming up for them because there isn't this deep of a relationship yet. That their fears going into getting to know you may be like a 1 or a 2. And so you're sort of netting this 5, right? And if you look at it in another lens or sort of later on into this dating relationship experience, what you'll see is dismissive avoidance. They may be in a position where they are interested in you an 8 or a 9 out of 10, but then their fears are at a 7. And the really pivotal part here to remember is that dismissive avoidance fears come online, not when they first start dating, but once they've started to really form an attachment. Because this is what reminds their subconscious mind of all the different fears they have about love and relationships. Our subconscious mind is like an association making machine. And so if you have all these different subconscious associations stored from childhood that are these things about, okay, attachment means that I have to be vulnerable and that scares me. I feel weak. I feel helpless. Attachment means that I'm going to be shamed for my emotions or my needs are going to get rejected. Then all these painful subconscious stored associations will be there. But when a dismissive avoidant as an adult starts dating somebody, those things don't immediately come online. Again, they come online when somebody's really started to make that attachment and once they start to feel vulnerable accordingly. So in those early stages, you'll actually see a DA be quite consistent. It's usually in that later stage after the attachment is formed that you will actually see the avoidant behavior start to come online. Number 2, another really important thing is that dismissive avoidants will make an effort when needs are communicated clearly and directly. A big piece of where I think people go wrong in DA relationship dynamics is that they expect a dismissive avoidant to understand their needs. They think, okay, if somebody loves me, they should just know what I need. And again, this couldn't be further from the truth. It's not people's job really to understand what we need all the time and to mind read. It's our job to articulate it. And once we've articulated it, then we want to see that person show up and do the work and put the effort in. And I think that's something that's really important to remember is that dismissive avoidants, they were modeled their whole upbringing in childhood to see everybody be hyper independent. Everybody takes care of their own needs, goes their own way. And so it's a new way of being for a DA to start realizing that, okay, we're supposed to exchange our needs. We're supposed to communicate our needs to one another and meet and receive them accordingly. And so what you have to remember is that because of this, when needs are not being communicated clearly and directly, more often than not, a dismissive avoidant won't even realize that you have them. And so it's really important that if you're dating a DA, you practice communicating your needs clearly and directly. Number 3, you will see a lot of effort. Again, these pieces of effort come in almost like when the DA knows what to do. But when needs are communicated in the positive, there is a huge difference, and this difference lands even more so with a DA than any other attachment style. There's a huge difference between saying something like, you never do the dishes, versus, hey, I could use some support. Will you take a turn doing the dishes? When you communicate in real time, you communicate in the positive. So in terms of what you actually need, rather than in the negative, the reactive form, like, oh, here's what you didn't do. Here's what you did wrong. This is where a DA is most likely to be most responsive. And what you'll see is if a DA is interested in you, they will actually show up and listen to your needs when they're clear, specific, direct, and communicated in the positive. Okay, so far we've got number 1, consistent. Number 2, you'll see effort to meet your needs when they're communicated clearly and directly. Number 3, when they're communicated in the positive. If you're somebody who's truly interested in helping others while also securing financial freedom for your future, there is a limited time option to join our 50% off certified relationship coach program. And this is a 12-week program where you can create financial freedom, work from anywhere in the world, and truly make an impact on other individuals' lives by becoming a certified relationship coach in just 12 weeks. Throughout this entire 12 weeks, you will learn all of the tools that you need to discover somebody's attachment style and help them heal and change their attachment style if they are insecurely attached so that they can become secure and build the best relationships of their life. On top of that, you'll learn all about the subconscious mind and how to actually rewire our painful limiting beliefs, our painful behavioral patterns, and help your clients learn their relationship needs, as well as the needs of their loved ones. You'll also learn how to build a thriving coaching practice and set yourself up for long-term success. You'll learn all of the business tips and tools you need to build funnels, leverage marketing strategies, and really thrive in the marketplace. Even if you have absolutely no coaching experience, this certification will give you everything you need starting from scratch to become a thriving relationship coach. You can find more using the link down below. Number 4, they will text you back. They may text you back not as quickly, okay, than other attachment styles. But when I mean not as quickly, I mean like by the end of the day is a good general rule. And I would say they're going to text back 95% of the time. I think another myth we have, and this is part of why I'm making this video, is people think, oh, they don't text me for 4 days and they're DA, so that must be why. A dismissive avoidant, if they're interested, they'll still text you back. You know, they may be longer to respond than other attachment styles as a general rule or on average. But you're usually going to see at worst, let's say you send them an evening text, they text you back by the next morning. If they're interested, they will text back. These gaps in communication shouldn't be, 4 days at a time, 5 days at a time. They should be within this sort of short 24-hour period at most. And there should be this element again of that communication that is there. Our next one, they will open up, but it will be in smaller ways. So dismissive avoidants will still communicate their interest. I think it's this other kind of idea that we have, thinking, no, they won't communicate when they're interested. So number 5 point here is that they'll say things like, I enjoy spending time with you, right? They'll say something like that rather than like, hey, I miss you. So they'll communicate and share their interest. It'll just be in these more subtle forms that are less vulnerable through the way in which they're communicating. Okay. So again, notice the difference between I enjoy spending time with you versus I miss you, right? One's a little more vulnerable, but both are still communicating interest. Number 6, they will let you know that they actually need space. And they'll try to get you to understand that. And what I mean by this is dismissive avoidants, they are wired to need more space than other attachment styles and need more independence and autonomy because that's so much of how they were conditioned. And that's also what they've come to expect because it's how love and attachment was modeled to them as a child. But they're still going to want you to understand this about them if they care about you and are interested about you because they want you to understand them so that the relationship can work with you. So they'll try to communicate their needs. They'll try to share things, even if they're not the most articulate at times. They'll say, hey, like I like my space more than other people, or they'll share things like that so that they can be understood, so that you cannot take their need for space as personally, and it can make the relationship work. And that's usually their intention behind when they communicate. If a DA is not interested, and I still have one more left, but if a DA is not interested, this is where you'll see that they won't even bother, right? They'll just take the space. They just will pull back. They'll just go days at a time without communicating. And so, when they're trying to articulate and share themselves, it's actually a sign that they're trying to really be vulnerable and communicate with you. So before I give you the last one, if you want to actually understand DAs better, you can go into a course that we have for free for 7 days, and it's the Dismissive Avoidant in the 6 stages of relationships. I'll put the link down below, and essentially what that is it's a course that's outlining how the DA will actually show up across each of the different stages of love and dating. Because a DA will be different in the dating stage than they will be in the honeymoon stage or the power struggle stage or the stability stage. And there's different stages of relationships. They literally go like this: dating, honeymoon, power struggle, where most people break up, stability, commitment, and bliss. And so it will give you the different challenges, the pain points, what to expect, how to deal with the different challenges and pain points if you are a DA or the loved one of a DA. And so again, it's kind of the roadmap for relationship success. And it's about an hour and a half long. So you can really get through all that information and understanding and have that roadmap for success within that hour and a half. So I'll put that link down below. And number 7, dismissive avoidants will bring you around their friends if they're interested. It won't be immediate. It won't be all their friends all the time, but they will bring you around people that they care about. And it may just be one or two people, but they'll actually let you into their life. The way I would see this again is like, if you look at a fearful avoidant or you look at an anxious preoccupied, they'll bring you around everybody all the time and, more immediately. But a dismissive avoidant will bring you around people, slowly but surely. And similar to how we talked about how somebody might say, oh, I enjoy spending time with you versus I really miss you. It's almost like that same analogy. They'll still do it. It'll just be less. It'll be more subtle. So it'll be one friend here or there that you'll meet, but it will be slowly over time. And there will be this element of consistency. So really important things to keep in mind. Hopefully this gave you some clarity between if someone's just dismissive avoidant versus they may not be that interested. And thank you for stopping by and watching. If you are enjoying this channel, please like, share, and subscribe. Clicking the like button is awesome for the algorithm. And thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.